Hey YouTube, welcome to part 3 of my video series on modifying the Squier Vintage Modified Mustang. Today we're going to be looking at the tailpiece springs and also the bridge. I've already outlined that I don't really like this bridge. I don't like that it doesn't really keep its string spacing if you play hard, and also it's just not as solid as other Mustang bridges. So I'm going to be replacing it with this staytrem bridge, which is in a 9.5 inch radius. It's important that you get that one for the Squier if that's the bridge you're going for. It'll keep everything in radius with the fretboard, which is what you need. Again, the staytrem is a more expensive option than just getting a normal Mustang bridge, but normal Mustang bridges are usually in a 7.25 inch radius, so then you'll have problems with the setup as your E strings will be normal, but then your middle strings will be a bit higher, so it'll mess with your action. So I thought it was just best to get a straight fix and get the staytrem bridge because it fixes all those problems. The string spacing can't be messed with, you can't move these saddles, and yeah, it just works as it's meant to. The other option is using a tune-o-matic bridge on the guitar, but I didn't want to do that for this video series because it's too much. It's not a permanent alteration, you can change it back, but it's a bigger alteration to the overall guitar rather than just getting an easy staytrem bridge to swap with. But before I change the bridge, I'm going to be changing the springs over underneath the trem plate there because I find the stock ones just don't have enough tension on them and they're not really doing all that much. So what I'm going to be doing is taking the stock springs off the trem plate and replacing them with these from Allparts. They've got a lot more tension on them and they're just overall better if you want better tuning stability and whatnot. So to take the trem plate off, first you have to take your bridge off, make sure the guitar isn't strung up, and then you're going to be taking off these 5 screws here. Okay, so now the screws are off and you should be able to just lift the plate up. Careful not to tangle your strings too much. Okay, so as you can see, I can kind of move these springs around a lot. There's not all that much tension, even though they're on the last notch here, which means it should have the highest tension on them. So yeah, they're no good and have to go. To take the springs off is fairly simple, hopefully, unless somebody has squeezed the ends here. If they have, you might have to use a screwdriver or some pliers to help tease it off, but yeah, it's basically as easy as just lifting them off the posts. And all you have to do, obviously, then is replace them with the new springs. As I said before, make sure you don't squeeze the ends here so they're tight. You don't really need to do that, and yeah, then you'll be that guy who makes it hard for the next person trying to make adjustments. You can spend hours trying to get these springs off, trust me, I have. Yeah, and it's not a very pleasant job. So that's done. Now all you do is put the trem plate back on and replace the screws. Now if you're wondering if that was all necessary, it was in my case because these springs are just rubbish. But if you're finding your guitar keeps in tune fine and you like how it feels, then you don't have to do that, but it's a cheap fix that if you're wondering how you can make the tremolo a bit better without getting a whole new trem plate from Fender, which is a lot more expensive. Okay, so that's done. The next step is to put in your shiny new bridge, which is as easy as slotting it in like that, and you're done, except for setting your intonation and your bridge height when you've restrung the guitar. If you're wondering what I'm stringing the guitar with, it's with these Ernie Ball Power Slinkies, 11 to 48s. I really like these strings. I just made the switch from D'Addario's to them, and yeah, I've been really enjoying them. So there you go, that was how you replace the springs in the tremolo and replace your bridge. As you can see, there really wasn't all that much to it. But anyway, I hope that video helped you out if you're wondering how this is all done. And I hope you stick around for part 4. And as always, thanks for watching.